Okay folks, welcome back to Wooden Toolman's channel and welcome back to my shop. So what I'm going to do in this video is just talk a little bit about my drum sander here and talk about the one that we're going to build. I've had this drum sander for quite a few years, and when I got it, I got very fortunate and I bought a whole bunch of belts. I bought a pallet of them, and I've had these, these have been doing me for a little while, but I'm getting low in belts. And I was looking the other day to see how much they're worth, and they're like 35 bucks a piece. So I've got a whole bunch of short ones too that aren't quite long enough to do this machine, and a lot of the times I just need something. I just like to, sand some little narrow strips. So I'm going to actually build a smaller version of this, just something for doing edges and something for doing little narrow strips, and plus two to show you guys how to build something that hopefully will be a little more effective than what you're seeing right now. So after having this thing for a number of years, I like watching videos on YouTube as much as you guys do, and looking at the different machines that people have made, I see some inherent dangers that, I wouldn't want to be using it. I'll tell you right now. Number one thing that I see is, people always make just the drum, and then, just a feed table with no hold down rollers at all. And I could see this, imagine you're pushing a piece of material into this, that drum is spinning this way, there's nothing holding that from, going on top of the drum, and then who knows where it's going to go. And then the other thing is too, is once you get a piece into this thing, if you were to lose control and not be pushing on this thing, this drum is just going to spit that out, just like, have you ever seen them automatic pitching machines where you put a ball in this side? Well, it don't matter where the ball goes in, as long as it got a hold of that roller, it's going to chuck it out. And the same thing, if you were pushing a chunk through this and you happen to lose the pushing power, that piece is going to come just flying out. So, this is a real danger, and this is something that I don't want to have in my machine. So now we'll talk about my plan for building one of these things. Now, I thought about doing a feed table like this. This thing has a feed belt, and then just a couple of hold down rollers that are spring loaded, one on either side of the drum here, and then of course there's one on the back side. This is a double drum. But the feed belt is going to be something, I'm not saying I'm not going to. I could make one at a duct tape. If you've seen that video, I know that I can make a belt at a duct tape, but the problem I can see is it wouldn't be perfectly flat and consistent, and that might cause problems. So what my new plan is, and the way that I think I'm going to do this, is I'm actually going to, I'll just grab something here right quick, is so we can see that we've got these little rollers here, front and back of the drum. Well, if these things were a little bigger around and rubber, and they had a feed on them, then, if this table was flat, then if we were to stick something in, these rollers would grab it and feed it into the drum, and then as long as it was longer, the piece was longer than the distance between these two, then it would be safe, because by the time, it got through the drum, this feed roller would be feeding it through, and then it would pull it all the way through, and we'd be clear of it. And, so what my plans are is I'm actually just going to use either probably a piece of threaded rod and some hockey pucks. And I figured it out, it's going to cost me 40 bucks worth of hockey pucks to do two 18-inch rollers, one on either side of the drum, which is a small cost. This machine cost over $3,000 right here. So I'm probably going to have $100 or a little better into my little mini version of this thing, which is nickels, really. And hopefully I'll have something that will work good and be safe. So the other change that I'm going to make too is, I'm going to have the hockey pucks on either side of the drum, and then what I'm planning on doing is you can see this one has 4 posts, one on each corner here. Well, I think that if I just have a single drum, if I had my posts lined up right even with this thing that raised up and down, then I could raise the table by the centerpiece with a bolt going down through, run through a block. You guys will have to wait for that part, but my point is it would be way easier just to control 2 points up and down and keep it even, rather than trying to get 4 and keep it flat. So I should be able to just get 2 parts coming up and down, and then that would control my up and down, and then these would be spring loaded. All I have to do is get it level from side to side, and that'll be it. So it should be a pretty simple build. And, well, not simple, but it'll be interesting to say the least. I think it'll be even easier than some of my other builds. So you guys keep tuning in. if you have just found my videos for the first time, have a look through. This is how we start all of our machines right here. Just have a little discussion. If you guys have got any comments that you'd like to make that might help me to make this, then feel free to make them. I'm always open to suggestions. If any of you guys have been following my videos, you know that as well. And if you haven't, you should subscribe, because we're going to have a lot of fun building a drum sander. So thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.